In this video, I will teach you everything I know about breeding in Spellborne. I've been playing since day one and I created a good amount of really strong monsters, and there is a lot to say about breeding, so I will try to make it as clear and short as I can. Let's go into it. First of all, what's breeding? Well, you want to breed a monster when you want to improve its innate stats. If you're not sure what innate stats even are, maybe check my other video about explaining stat and everything you need to know about them. In the first part of this video, we will take a look at how breeding works. If you already know the basics, maybe you can skip this part, I will add a timecode. First you need two monsters, one male, one female. They will both be burned in the process of giving one child. They can be different monsters as long as they are in the same egg group. Egg group are like breeding families. There are 6 different ones at the moment. You can find the egg group of a monster right here in its summary or on wiki. If you use 2 different monsters, the child's breed will be the same as its mother. So here it will be a turtle, for example. You can enjoy my paint skills. And then, yeah, for the interesting part, stats. Okay, so the child's innate stats will be in between its parents' innates. Now, by giving each parent an item called anklet, you can force one stat to be transmitted to the child. And that's how you improve your monsters. On the left, we have the father, a turtle. The mother on the right is a mangrovie, so the child will be a mangrovie too. You see the range of possibilities in the middle for the child. Speed on the bottom, for example, can be anything between 15 and 45. And by the way, it's the same chance for any number in that range. Getting a 45 here isn't more rare than 15, for example. It's completely random. And then look, both the mom and dad have 45 SP. So the child's SP stats, being in between his parents, will end up 45 as well. It will remain the same. That's it for the rules. Now in chapter 2 I will give a bit more theory just so you can apply the rules properly and effectively to optimize your breedings. Back to our breeding example. We'll now learn about the first and most important rule of breeding, so stay with me. The dad here has 45 SP and 45 speed. Okay, the mom has 45 SP and 45 defense. SP will stay the same, we've seen that. But by giving the dad a speed anklet and the mom a defense anklet, we can force both these stats on the child, just like so. What that tells us is that in order to obtain a child with 3 good stats, you need both parents to have 2 good stats, and one of these 2 good stats needs to be shared by both parents. The same rule applies for any amounts of stats. Look at this image. If you aim for a child with 4 good stats, the green ones, you need both parents to have 3 good stats. So in the end, it ends up being like a tree, just like that. The more good stats you want, the more monsters you need. It doubles every time. If you want 2 good stats to stay on the monster, you need 2 monsters. 3 good stats, you need 4 monsters. 4 good stats, you need 8. 5 good stats, and you need 16. So the maximum in Spellborne is 7 perfect or 7 very good stats. You would end up burning 64 monsters in order to obtain 1 really strong child. That's a lot. 63 stats being the maximum and extremely rare to find, it's super expensive to create perfect monster on this game. We'll be moving to the concrete example now. So I will share with you, for free of course, the resource I use for my breedings. It's a Google Sheets. It's really important to plan your breedings so you don't waste good monsters and stats. So how do I plan a breeding then? First, I choose a monster. Let's take a turtle. You will need 1 female turtle in your breeding tree to make sure you end up with a turtle in the end. Since you can choose genders, 1 female is enough. Then choose the stats you want to be strong. Here, I want to make a really strong one, so I want special attack, HP, defense, and speed. I don't care about attack on turtle because looking at the moveset and the book of knowledge stats, I know that turtle won't benefit from it. Again, check my video about stats if you're not sure about this part. Also, stamina won't be my priority, and since I'm going for 4 stats, I decided to ignore special defense to reduce the cost of my breeding. As a reminder, the more stats you want to be good, the more expensive it gets because the amount of monster you need to burn doubles every time. Now that my decision is made, I can go on my breeding Google Sheet. The link is in description for you to use the same I'm using. Just paste the link, create a copy, and you will have a whole tree that you can edit. Let me show you. Each box like that is a pair of monster. It's basically the tree I showed you earlier, but in Google Sheets you can edit it. One male, one female. You can enter the important stats, the good ones, and if they are between 40 and 45, they will be colored. If they are 46 and above, like the yellow stats in the game, they will have different color. It helps you visualize your work, create multiple pages like that for your different breeding plans. Back to our total. The next step is to list the material you have. You have to adapt to your monster and budget. Every stats don't have to be perfect. I can look for high special attack, speed and defense, but I will accept 45 HP, and that will greatly reduce the cost of my breeding. It's quite good to have 45 stats, or anywhere between 40 and 45 is good, of course. You will understand why in this example. Okay, so I will just paste the link in the description in Google, create a copy, and scroll all the way down. I like to use the bottom of the tree, because as you can see, I have a little material space so that I can list the monster that I will be using. I also like to do split screen, so half of my screen is Spellborne and the other half is the breeding sheet. So I'll just select my egg group, take water for total. As you can see, I did put 45 HP because I will settle for that amount. And you may notice that I catch a lot of monsters, so I have a lot of 45 HP, but you can also use like 44, I mean, it doesn't have to be 45. The more monster you catch, the easier it will be for you to do some good breedings. So the first thing I will do is put my female total in here. As a reminder, one female total is enough for me to have a total in the end. And then, since I have a lot of 45, I don't need to add every single gender and every single breed. I will just put a lot of 45, so I know that they are available. But if you don't have as many, you can do as I did for the first total and list everything. What I like to do is put a letter for each stat. You will understand why later. Okay, SP and attack we don't care. Let's look on the special attack. So since I want a good special attack, I will put 50 this time and see if I have any yellow stats. Okay, I do have some 44, 60 and 57 special attack. Maybe we can ignore the 54 and settle with a 60 special attack to keep a beautiful number. Once again, I don't care about the breed anymore, since I know I have a total in the end. I will just specify the gender, which is female. Just in case, I can also add the Mangrovi with the 57 special attack. Now let's look the defense stats. So, okay, I do have a 60. That's quite nice. So I will note it down and specify the female gender. You may see that I like to leave a space between each stat category, so it's more clear for me. Okay, so now we have HP, special attack, defense, and I will only look for speed. Let's say for this breeding I'm not using the 63, and I will settle on a 50, 53 speed. Let's say it's okay for me. So once again, you specify genders. And now I should be ready to start building. I am building a 4-stat monster. HP, special attack, defense and speed. So I know that I will need 8 monsters in my tree. You should save this image, it can be very useful. Right now I have a bit more than 8, but as you will see, it can be useful to have a bit more. So this will be the first monster I put in my breeding tree. The female total that will remain a total in the whole tree. It has 45 HP and that's it, one good stat. So I need to match him with the male, and the only one that has one good stat in my material list is the speed one. So I will put it like this, and that's it. That will be my first breeding. I will keep adding the letters, so everything is clear. I don't like to use the L because it's too similar to the I, so I will put M instead. And now what I like to do, just for clarity again, is to take a color and use it on these squares. So I know that these monsters from my material list are used, they are in the tree, okay? It's for me to keep track. And what I also do is I rename the monsters in-game, so it's easy to find them. So yeah, these two will be my first breed. The total 45 HP and the one that has 50 speed and is a male. So when I breed these two together, I want to keep the total breed, so it will have to be a female. What I know about the stats because I'm using anklets, is that it will have 45 HP and 50 speed. I don't care about the others. So since I have my female ready, I already know that I need a male. I also know that I want to breed him with a 45 HP, because this way I don't use too many gold stats. It helps me reducing the cost of my breeding plan. And then I also need another stat, a different one. The HP will be my common one, shared from both parents, and then I need a different one. So my 60 defense monster is a female. I'll put that in. So that means I need a male now. Okay, and I also know that I need a 45 HP. You can work backwards. You start from the results, and it helps you building the base. So now I will look for 45 HP, which is also a male, so it has both conditions, and name it AAA. As you can see, I've been doing some homework before the video. So this one is already named, just to give you an example. I will keep on writing the names in the squares and keep track by coloring the used monsters. Okay, my second breeding is ready. We can now move on from 2 good stats to 3 good stats. So what will happen when I breed these 2? Well, I will need a female toddle, that will stay the same. I will have 45 HP because both parents have it. I will have 60 defense thanks to the anklet on the dad, and 50 speed thanks to the anklet on the mother. So here I will work backwards again. I need a male to be bred with my female toddle. It needs to have 45 HP. I already know that I can use my 53 speed, and I can keep walking backwards from here. So 53 speed is needed. I can also see that it's a female, so I note that down, and I note his name. Then, once again, I color the square, and now I need another male with 45 HP. I will take the name BBB. As you can see, homework is done right there. This will be the one. If I breed these 2 together, I actually don't know what the gender will be. So I can just do a random one and see what the game gives me, so that I save some gold nuggets, because you have to pay when you choose a gender. So here I will just do random. Let's say I end up with a female. Now I have a female, I need a male. Let's add the special attack to the recipe now. So my special attack one is a female as well. Okay, and it has 60 special attack. What that tells me is that I need yet again another male with 45 HP. So this will be the BBB. Oh no, actually it will be the CCC one, because I already added the BBB. So CCC. I just put 3 letters, by the way, because it's the minimum you can add in a Spellborne when you rename a monster. Okay, so perfect, we are almost there. If you really want, you can specify the gender in there, but it's not mandatory. So here, when you do this breeding between these 2, make sure you take male as a final gender. So it will have 45 HP and 60 special attack. As you can see, it's almost complete now. I just need to fill the squares. And my final results, because the toddle is the female, will be a child toddle. For the gender, you can choose whatever you want. Maybe I will choose male, so that I can give the stats to another monster later. That's usually what I do. It will have 45 HP because both parents have 45. Special attack will be given by the anklets. Defense will be given by the anklets. And the speed will be anywhere between 50 and 53, but no anklets needed. So this will be random. When I do breeding trees, I always put the minimum amount, so that I'm not too disappointed with the outcome. As you can see, I have some spare ones. I will just delete everything that I didn't use and make sure everything is okay from my breeding tree. Always check your work, because you don't want to lose these valuable monsters. And you may notice that I have 4 monsters with HP and 4 monsters with golden stats. So the fact that I use a lower HP amount allows me to do a breeding that's way cheaper. And it will be the same even if you do 5-6 stats. If you accept to have 1 lower stats, not as rare as a golden stats like 50 plus, 60 plus, even just 1, half of your tree will always be cheap like that. And it's a great way to build strong monsters, but also save money. By the way, these monsters are not lost. I can keep breeding and improving my toddle, and that's why I did choose a male, because let's say in 2 months I want to do another monster with 5 good stats. I will have half of the work already done. I will need to do the same thing all over here, And by breeding these two together, I will have a new monster ready, with 5 good stats. And then you can do the same for 6. And that's why on Spellborne you want to improve little by little. Meaning that you can start with a monster with 2 good stats, but then when you get the material, the breeding material and the anklets, you can improve to 3. And then when you have 2 monsters with 3 good stats, you can get 1 monster with 4 good stats, and so on and so on. So it's really exponential. That's why, even though I play since day 1, I don't have that many good monsters. But the good monsters that I have are really good, because I kept improving them by mixing them together, kind of. Now I want to show you my personal page. As you can see on the bottom, I have multiple tabs for each of my breeding plans, and this was the grifflets that I did. So I listed all the good stats that I had. And this was a really expensive build, because I did 6 stats out of 7 that were good stats. I started by breeding every single of my materials with a 45 SP, or even more sometimes, so I can have a chance for golden stamina. And then I did the exact same thing that I showed you, but with a grifflet. So I had 1 female grifflet, and that's enough. And by planning ahead properly, you can end up with this kind of results. Of course, this was after like 1.5 years of playing, collecting golden stats on birds, and buying a lot of golden stats on the market as well. So this kind of build and the amount of material they need is really huge, and that's why in Spellborne the good monster supply is really not that big. Now what I want to share with you is some footage that I recorded when I was building the grifflets, so the Noctiros that you've just seen. As you can see, this one is like a roof, a marker, a way to know that everything above him are the important breeding materials. So if I scroll up right now, you will see all the breedings that are ready to turn into a beautiful monster. You see the way I renamed every single monster? It's really helpful to keep track of everything and to find them easily through the filters. By the way, you can also give the anklets just like that, and it's quite easy to do. Just make sure you use the correct anklet by looking at your breeding sheet. Okay, wow, congrats if you made it until here. I know it's a big video to digest, and if you have questions, you can ask here in the comments or on the Spellborne Discord, linked below. If I had to summarize everything, Step 1, make sure you understand the basic rules. Step 2, breeding helps improving stats, but it does it little by little, and the cost doubles every time you want to add a good stat to a monster. Step 3, make sure you plan things ahead to optimize the cost and avoid mistakes. As a reminder, these stats do make a difference, but the difference is not as big as you may think. A good player with a good strategy and good team building will be stronger than just the stats. Last disclaimer that I want to share with you is that yellow stats do not matter that much if you are a new player. If you're breeding a monster with 4 good stats, for example, you can easily do 3 stats between 40 and 45 and just 1 yellow stat. By doing so, you would need 8 monsters, but only 1 with a yellow stat in the breeding tree. Thank you for watching and see you soon.